Let's do a little experiment. Let's say you live by yourself and your family, and you've never met anyone else in your whole life. And you live with your family like on some Gilligan's Island, and you live a happy life. In the Christian perspective, you're going to hell because you never heard of Jesus, so it's your fault that you're ignorant. In most other religions' perspective, Buddhism for instance, it's okay. I mean, it's like if you're not introduced to the religion, they're not going to be like you're going to hell. Like what I like about the Maya is that they don't believe in hell. They just believe in the underworld of the gods. It's like you're not punished if you don't do the traditions. You just have a regular life and still get to go to the underworld. But in Christianity, you are punished for not doing anything because well, we gave you this fucking life, so you better thank us. You know, it's not Nietzsche has the best critique of Buddhism, and it's in fact in his very last, well, second to last work, The Antichrist. Most people think that work is just him dissing Christianity the whole time, but actually, there's a good section on when it's pro Buddhism and pro Jesus, not pro Christians. Okay, I'll put the Buddhism section on the description so y'all can read it. I emphasize the part where he said Nietzsche believes Buddhism is the only positivistic religion history has yet to offer, because it's saying that enlightenment is attainable in this life. And Christianity is like, no, you'll never attain it, just wait in the beyond, wait till tomorrow. Buddhism is about the present, and it's saying, yes, you can attain it. And if you haven't heard of Buddhism, you're not going to go to some Buddhist hell like a Christian if you don't know of Christianity. If it's not even your fault that your parents didn't introduce you, Jesus is still going to send you to hell? Like, what kind of forgiving kind of guy is that? Um, but I really think that Nietzsche knew Buddhism a lot more. He just didn't, mention it in all his writings because his main agenda was what culture should be. The cultivation of genius is his religion, he says. But Buddhism, the fact that it takes the body into account, the fact that it says enlightenment is possible in this existence, not necessarily just keep reliving in nirvana. I mean, the Buddha came back to show us this form of enlightenment in his eyes. Um, but yeah, there's this part where he mentions the Brahmins, and then right after it, he mentions Plato, all during the Buddhism section. What's interesting to me is that in the Emerson's essay on Swedenborg, the one I believe that he emphasized that he was an old soul like Swedenborg, which is why they get so much wisdom. In that essay, right when he talks about the transmigration of souls, having given birth through having lived through thousands of births and, summarizing all this knowledge in this life, I just think that Nietzsche putting the Brahmins right after Plato is very interesting because that's exactly what Emerson did in his Swedenborg essay. He said the Brahmins called it transmigration and Plato called it um, something else. But the fact that he used the same two references just as Emerson, I think he's alluding that he has read that essay and that he does believe he's an old soul in the Buddhist sense. And even in My Sister and I, he said, I have been Caesar in my past life, I have been whatever. It's not him just being dreamy because he fell on his head and was in a coma-like state. It's him realizing his past life potential um, because he was such an old soul. Yep, I'm gonna do this video on Taoism and Nietzsche and Emerson later. But now gotta go to work.